Your Miami Hurricanes knocked off Notre Dame 27-24. Welcome to
the recap show. It's the recap show, and we kicked Notre Dame's ass. We called it by 3. It's still kicking your ass. At the end, somebody wins, somebody loses. Notre Dame, you
fourth
lost.
quarter. It was kind of a domination.
It was close. There was
a little bit.
There was an opportunity there for the University of Miami to win by 3 scores. I mean, we were up, and Notre Dame, to their credit, they fought back. But hey, Scoopy, good to see you, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's a great Monday holiday morning. And look, nothing is better than, I would say, when you beat Florida is better, but not much gets better than beating Notre Dame. Especially, man, their fans are awful. Like the Twitter people, I think we mentioned this before. Like, I never thought that I would appreciate talking to Gator fans about football. And then you get to the Notre Dame fans. Holy shit. So, yeah, to all you guys, fuck off.
Hit the road, Jack. Hit the road, Jack. Yep. And you know what? I made the comment. They posterized it on their side of it. And it's like, just come down, get your ass beat. We don't even know your names. I still don't know your other quarterback's name. I don't.
Well, he didn't have to play. CJ Carr played pretty well. Look, you give hats off CJ Carr. Hell of a game last night. Really?
He played well for a freshman.
He played really well.
He did.
I had no idea that he had any sort of wheels, to be quite honest with you. I'm not sure that the defense or the coordinators did as well, because that draw was a bit it may have been their best play, to be honest with you.
In the background, I'm literally having a play where I'm like, the quarterback draw, we get this one, but it victimizes. Pay attention to the game will come out later today. But,
so we talk about the good, the bad, the semi-ugly. Hey, first of all, there's a lot of props to give because we just simply didn't know much, right? We didn't know how this was going to gel. We knew we had offensive line. We knew we had a defensive line. We had no idea what the secondary was going to be like, although we paid a bunch of money for them. But first and foremost, Carter Davis, well done, my friend.
Yeah, 100%. We use your name. We use your name now. You have earned it, Carter Davis. Congratulations.
Well, we didn't know who the kicker was. Not that we didn't know the names. We just didn't know who was going to kick the field goals. And he's a weapon on kickoffs. Holy shit. The guy was like 2 of 27 for his career at FAU, and he nails the game winner. Thank God we were tied.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or we talked about that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're talking about it on the stream, man. We're like, this is our worst nightmare. It's about to come true. We're marching down for a winning field goal with no time left.
Yeah. Can we talk about the bad
too?
Can we talk about just in relation to that though too?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are we doing offensively?
I will talk about that under the ugly segment.
Just kind of.
Yeah.
Are we playing for that?
Well,
you know what I mean?
Let's talk about the good first. Yeah, I want to talk. That's the ugly part, Scoop. That's the ugly part at that stretch of the game, and we'll give thanks and praise, and then we'll give the criticism where the criticism is due.
I have more praise.
All right. Go ahead, Scoopy. You got the praise, but yeah, exactly. A 47-yard field goal. It wasn't a chip shot, boys. It wasn't even a chip shot. That was like He hammered it too.
Mm-hmm.
I was so enamored with the setup yesterday. Okay, OBS is a complete mess. All right, we hate it. Live streams. This is our bread and butter, right? This is us right-handed, and then when we try to do OBS, it's left-handed. It's just a complete jacked up mess. Okay, but I'm
it's
sitting there.
It's the software's fault though.
And Toast can't delay it to get on my time because I'm watching it on his stream, and I'm just like watching his face, and I'm like, please tell me it goes in. I'm like 30 seconds behind you, and he's like, I don't even know what the hell happened, but he's lifting up his hands, and I'm just going nuts. It's like, he made it? No way.
He did. He made it and showed zero emotion.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I've done it 1,000 times.
And I was
before.
like, okay, maybe he's just focused on the fact that he's got to go kick something out of the back of the end zone.
Well, listen, the first thing was I was shocked it wasn't Bert Auburn.
I know.
Let's be honest, compared to the two of them, Bert was the one that had the more polished pedigree in terms of, he had missed some as well, but I kind of thought he was going to win just based on their history. So that was the first shock. It's like, oh my God, we're throwing out the one that's never hit one from under 50. It's like, oh Jesus, here we go. He had, but it had been 2 years ago, just not
right. Well, look, Bert Auburn had
100%
had a lot of experience in big games.
Yes, he did. Absolutely. So that was the first surprise. So 100% Carter Davis, welcome to the family. Well, Carter Davis Borregalis, I guess is kind of what we're going to go with now. So that'll
CDB.
That brother.
there you go. But bro, I come out of this game, I feel like I was right, man. Like this secondary, I think we got the right people.
We
I
do.
think the money was spent properly.
We do. I'm curious to see as the film goes on, some of the
Mhm.
lapses we had on the secondary, and the good news is the worst team, your worst iteration of the team should be week one. So was it completely clean and perfect? No, but was it better than last year at the end? Yes. Right? Yes, it was better. It looked better than the back end of last season. And can it improve? Absolutely. And you want it to improve. I also want to go ahead and just hats off to defensive line. I mean, Ruben Bain and Akeem Messidor, especially at the end, right? It was one of those game plans where they weren't going to have CJ Carr hold onto the ball long, right? They gave him very seldom and few opportunities to hold on to the ball
It
long.
was the Emory
They get,
Williams game plan.
yeah, to a T. And you saw the Notre Dame fans online; they were flipping out about it. But we're like, we've seen this before. I mean, like offensive coordinators they tend to try to protect that quarterback as much as they can to almost a detriment, and then University of Miami victimized that. But once they were like, okay, you got to throw, you got to lead us down the field, you saw what they were capable of, right? So I thought the defensive line, and later on we'll talk offensive line, just did its job. I mean, that's a Mario signature right there. Like his trenches, they were bullies.
Yeah, they were all over it. I think I saw this morning that if it stands, they said, because they're doing some full review, but Ruben Bain and his PFF grade against the run last night would have been the highest PFF grade against the run for any defensive lineman since they started doing PFF grades.
Like 2014 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw
So
that. It's nuts.
yeah, they played well, and Rose right. I mean, there was no chance. It's it's like playing Va Tech or playing Georgia Tech or playing any of these guys who they want nothing to do with our defensive front. So they will do whatever they can to get the ball out as fast as possible. And you're right. Towards the end, when those offensive linemen for Notre Dame were wearing down, they even talked about it on the broadcast about how they're having popsicles and wet towels on their heads and the whole thing because they were wearing down. You saw it when the boys were able to pin their ears back against that defense, against that offensive front of Notre Dame, that they had their way with them towards late in the game. They certainly did. With Moten had it, Scott with an early blow up like that, and front four like how many? I don't know. You're gonna watch the whole condensed version. How many blitzes did we have? Not many.
Nope.
Few off the corner, but really not many. And they look, it's the trenches. It's the trenches. It's Mario Ball. But even more importantly, Malachi Toney.
Bro.
Let's talk about how special this kid is. And I'm going to bring up two things, and then you guys can go nuts with Malachi Toney. I've been told for a while, for people that know him and on the back end, that he is something special, something that you just cannot. He has it times 100, right? And the two things that you guys should have noticed if you didn't see it last night in two of his catches. First of all, the one where he caught the touchdown and he flattened off that route, which would geometrically make it easier for Carson to get him the football. You can't teach that shit. That is something it's just innate in that kid, right? That's the first one. The second one, him catching that little dig route, the whip route back to the outside, and then tucking under Marty Brown as they went to the outside. Again, that stuff you can't teach. The kid's 17 years old. He looks like he's 11. They had him returning punts.
Bro.
What does that tell you about a kid who's back there? He's just casually just locking it up.
Ro and I brought it up. There was an era of just confidence. The way he fielded the punch, there was no bobble. There was no sudden step like, it was just steady and smooth. Nothing at all. At one point, one of the Notre Dame players, I don't think, like, hit his foot and he pointed down like, yo, you going to call that, ref?
Yeah,
And after he was like,
and then he fielded the punt without the fair catch. That the last, I was like, He didn't
Yeah.
fair catch
And
that?
there was a penalty that brought it back,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
a phenomenal return. Listen, and I don't mean to, this isn't a shot at him, but if you had told me week one, I was going to be like, oh, yeah, no, yeah, we don't miss X, I would have said you're crazy. I would have said you're crazy. But, bro, he's stepping right in. Like, he can play that role. And I love it. I'm not saying he's better, whatever, but I don't think there's going to be a drop off there like we were, a lot of folks might have been concerned about.
I'm gonna take the backs off of that comment. You know, we love Xavier Restrepo. We know what
100%.
Xavier Restrepo meant to the team. What we're saying is that we had a question. The question was who was going to replace his efficacy? Who was going to be the guy to be the guy? Well, coming out of week one, playing against Notre Dame, arguably the best secondary we're going to face all year long, we know who the guy is now. That question is answered. Do we have other questions in the wide receiver room? Sure. But do we have a question, who's the guy? No, not after last night. Because when it was hard early, especially when it was wet, and they're really good cover guys, and they're really good at using their hands and getting you jammed up. There was one guy that was getting free, and that's against one of the best, arguably, secondaries we're going to face all year, and against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish secondary, who had the number one PFF cornerback in the country. And Malachi Toney is that dude. We're great. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
great, Tony. Tony the Tiger. Let's go.
And that's the other thing
17.
for the fan base, man. Y'all got to chill. Like, I saw some folks were getting pissed about Beck and the offense, the pat. Bro, this is literally the best secondary in the country. And he just went for 200 yards, 70%, and 2 touchdowns. You realize the confidence that gives me thinking that he's going to go against everybody else? This is the best secondary he's facing out of the gate with receivers he wasn't comfortable with. 70%, 2 touchdowns, and 200 yards.
And
We
and
said it was
Josh
gonna look
Moore
different.
too. Ton of
Yeah,
burn.
look, bro, we
So-
didn't see JoJo. We didn't like, there's so, like, and let's just say, fucking CJ Daniels, bro. Catch of the year, greatest catch I've seen a Canes player make in I don't know how many years. That was friggin' sick.
And then you hear Mario Cristobal say he's been trying to get him in the transfer portal for like 2 years, and he finally gets him. And it's just he praised him about his mental acuity. He came in a little banged up in camp, had a little bit of a foot issue, but he just like really instilled that senior leadership for a group that was kind of unproven, right? But now you have that, and then he goes out and he makes that play on like a basically a sit and go. You know, he just basically gets up that. It was a design shot. They knew it was going to be there. Carson Beck delivered the ball, probably arguably not even close. It's going to be the Paul Baines blow the roof off the clip play of the week. I mean, that was just such a great play.
So that play, I saw Carson talking after he was talking to the ACC. The two plays, that play and one of the Malachi Toney plays, the Malachi Toney touchdown, right? So both the touchdowns, he said, "I told you, we got this. We saw this in practice this week. We knew the coverage. We saw the coverage. We exploited the coverage." So what does that tell you? They were coached well this week. They saw that. It's the same thing as Bandy saying back in 2017, "I knew that throw was coming. I saw it all week." Right? He said the same exact thing. So they saw the coverage. He knew to tell him that little sluggo, the little sit and go. And that was it. That was it.
Stick nod.
Huh?
It was a stick nod.
Yeah, little stick.
Stick nod.
Want to throw some love to the running back room in one that we hadn't really talked about at all. Congratulations, Shamar Brown. Wonderful game that you had last night, both running the ball and you had a couple of catches as well. I'm not sure what happened. I mean, Jordan started the game, which was, and then just kind of disappeared.
He got
Mark
hurt.
came in. Oh, did he get it? All right, he dies. We couldn't hear the play, but the commentary with the stream.
He got hurt. He got hurt
Okay.
early. Unsure. It's maybe an ankle or something.
Okay.
Just
All
kind of twisted up on it. But yeah, no, he got hurt early, and that changes things. But yeah, you saw a lot of Marty last night, and you saw a lot of why everybody's raving about him in camp. I mean, kid's a bruiser, right? I mean, you've look, it was great. It was great. It was great. We were up big early. Carson looked great. The offensive line gave him so much protection.
So much time.
Notre
bro.
Dame had 4 pressures last night.
And the one
4
sack.
pressures. Listen to this stat. They had 4 pressures the entire night, right? They hadn't had 4 pressures or less since they played Navy.
Who threw the ball 7 times?
They threw the ball 9 times.
Yeah, it's amazing. One of the plays I highlighted early on Student of the Game was the blitz pickups by the University of Miami. And Freeman after the game said we're going to have to do a better job rushing with just 4 people. Well, good luck. I mean, it's going to get easier from here on out, but we have 5 if you try to rush 4. So it's not an easy job for your defensive line. And even when they did try to pressure, bring more to the party, I think mirror ball over the years, especially last year when he put such a huge element on Cam Ward's protection, they protected Carson Beck in the same thing. And that's the thing to any transfer quarterback. Like, it's not about I have an offensive line that can protect you. No, I have an offensive line who's smart, and we have our blitz pickups, and we take pride in that. We take a lot of pride in the blitz pickups, and the blitz pickups for the University of Miami were very, 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 very solid early.
Can I tell you my favorite thing about the offense last night?
Sure.
Ding at me.
Checkdowns.
Yeah. That's the difference.
Love them.
Mhm.
I was like, holy shit, this is fantastic. Give me
I
8
know it
yards
sounds
every time.
ludicrous. I know Scoop said that and it sounds ludicrous. And this is going to be one of the bigger differences between Cam Ward and what I noticed between Cam Ward and Carson Beck. And we hate to do this. And eventually there's going to be a clean break state and we're not going to talk about Cam Ward anymore. Right. But it's early and there's a transition period. And I think all the fans want to know, like, hey, what's different? What's going to be different? And that's it, because Cam Ward, instead of the check down, would roll, extend plays, and make great plays. But Carson Beck understands the game, and he's just going to be more methodical about it. He's going to be like, it's not here, it's there. It's not here, it's there. And I don't think you're going to see some of the improv things that you saw from a year ago, but you're going to see that efficiency, right? As long as you're effective, as long as you're efficient. Guys, we heard it, especially from Gator fans. And Roddy did a good job on his podcast talking about it. Not all the interceptions were on Carson Beck last year. Well, he played the best secondary. He probably going to zero picks, zero. Maybe a ball or two in harm's way.
Mhm.
That happens. 0 picks. That's all they talked about. He's interception prone. Gator fans, look at this interception. Look at this interception. He was fine. He was fine. He was completely fine. You had zero. Like, I've seen Miami Hurricane quarterbacks back in the day. Love you, Ja'Cory Harris. But like when they went back to pass, it was just all bets were off. I didn't feel that sense with Carson Beck. I thought he was sure-handed.
Fault.
Yeah, it was Mark Whipple's fault. We loved Ja'Cory. So I thought he played a very, very good game. He's 1 touchdown away from being the headline. If he had 3 touchdowns and threw for like 250 against that vaunted defense, he's 1 touchdown away from being the headline. What is the headline tonight? Kicker. Great play by CJ Daniels, right? Good defense. That's the headline. He's 1 touchdown away. And that was
the secondary
tough sell.
the secondary didn't give up that long play either. Like, let's be honest. Like, that was the linebacker got stuck. He had to run with his man. He didn't. He let him go free. The secondary were occupied by their other assignments.
Mhm.
So, that a little worrisome, right? Can our linebackers cover? I don't know. You know what I missed last night? I missed tight ends.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
I
didn't
missed
really
some tight
feature
ends, man.
too
I mean,
much.
Lofton had the one on that zone.
Mhm.
The zone coverage, we just ran that kind of little flat corner. Aside from that, nada. And maybe it just wasn't simply in the game plan.
Listen,
Maybe, keeping him in line.
if you had told us before the game that we would outrush Notre Dame and they would outpass us, you'd say, "What are you talking about?" Well, that's exactly what happened. I mean, I don't know what happened to Jeremiah Love. I don't know why he wasn't in there more often. I don't know why they weren't feeding him more often. Price was more effective when he was in there. I mean, I'll take it. But that was not a little bit in the fourth quarter. You started to kind of see that running game get going a little bit with Price, but I thought we were going to be seeing a steady dose of that for 4 quarters, and we
Look,
just
I got to be
didn't.
honest with you. I think that's gross negligence by the offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
I don't know
That's
what
the $1 million
you're doing.
question. Yeah, that's the $1 million question
why-
for
He had
them.
10
You want to
carries
get
for
him
33
comfortable.
yards,
I get
bro.
it, but what are we
Like,
doing? What are you doing? He's the best
your
running
best
back in the
player.
country.
yes.
Like, he's not even close. Like,
I've seen some
I
don't let him on the
understand.
plane. Like, how can we do that kind of a thing? And it was a heavyweight fight. When you have that formidable defensive line in either direction and good offensive line in either direction, it was going to be one of those games like the NFL. Like, who's going to get to 100 yards rushing? Because 200-yard rushing games in the NFL doesn't really happen. You got some NFL talent on both sides of the ball in the trenches. So it was like, who could get to 100? And that was the heavyweight fight you were watching. A lot of body blows, just sticking with it. But right, Jordan Love, I mean, for
Jeremiah.
for Jeremiah Love, for CJ Carr to sit there and have that kind of a game, he needed love. He needed the whoopee. He needed
Hmm.
something, and he didn't have that something. He didn't have the benefit of having the run game get going, and I think it left him exposed, especially when they tried so many of those, perimeter plays, couple that we blew up, couple both of the basically both interceptions. And remember, my key number one was bring an axe, Paul Bunyan, because we got to take care of the low hanging fruit. Both turnovers by Notre Dame. The fumble, Scott goes out there, makes a great play, heady play on a screen, and then you turn around and you have Ruben Bain hustling out there, getting the interceptions, kicked around all crazy. But it was a great play by the press corner to go ahead and blow that up. We took away the low hanging fruit, and that's what got us our 2 turnovers. So we kind of knew what they were trying to do. We took away their running game for the most part, and then we took away enough of the low hanging fruit. Later on, they got us on a couple things. They'll clean that up, but I was very happy to see that the University of Miami made it hard for the running game and for the low hanging fruit.
I will tell you this: if we had Jeremiah Love and we went into that game, and that's the offensive game plan that they put together, we would be calling for the offensive coordinator's head.
They are.
100%. 100%.
They are. They're like, this is terrible.
I don't pay attention to them anymore.
They're relevant again.
They're irrelevant. Remember?
Yeah. You had your 4 quarters of relevancy, and now you're gone.
Yeah.
I saw you guys play. Are you happy? Are you happy
Yeah.
we watched you guys last night?
The credence, though, that the University of Miami Hurricanes, Notre Dame wanted to be noticed so bad by us. They wanted to just, like, we played for a national champ. How dare you not know who we are? How dare you not know our players' names? Well, we beat you, and thank you, because apparently you were pretty good. So that's going to help us, because now we're going to, I still don't think we're going to jump Alabama in the rankings, but I think we're going to, but anyway, after Paul Feinbaum's sister cries us a river.
Did you see ESPN put out their updated FPI rankings, and Texas is still number 1 and 0-1, and Ohio State is number 3? Like, what are we? Why would I even have any confidence in that? It's like no credibility in that poll now at all moving forward.
They need to update. I'm telling you, the other conferences need to band together and stop using the ESPN FPI, because it's like, if
I think the ACC should fully embrace the Coley matrix.
And I'm not trying to go into the political sphere here, but they need to be like, every chance it's fake news.
It's fucking insane.
It's a fake poll, because again, the biggest one that I want to get added to this, Notre Dame might end up losing a couple games on the season, right? They might, and maybe they end up unranked. Who knows? But then Miami doesn't get the strength of schedule because Notre Dame. But at the time we played Notre Dame, they were a top 10 team. I think playing a team while they're ranked should count as a stat, and that should be factored into FPI, right? 1,000%. Like, Miami got victimized last year, so it is what it is.
So we've talked about a lot of the good stuff.
All right.
There was some stuff that wasn't so great.
Yeah.
So first of all, I don't know about everybody else. Well, of course, the snap on that first field goal attempt was a bit unnerving, as that went about a foot wide, and that turned into a big nothing burger. I guess my thing would be early on, that catch by Jordan Faison and the inability of us to tackle was at first like, oh boy, I hope this isn't going to go on for the entire evening. And then I said it on the stream scoop, and it was to the about the running game, and it was like, listen, this is Mario Cristobal's team. We are going to run it up the middle. What you have to hope is that we're getting 4 or 5 yards a pop out of that, because even if we aren't, we're still going to run it up the middle, and it's going to drive you crazy. So hope that it's effective, because it's not going to go away. We're never not going to run up the middle with this team, with this coach. So I don't know what to tell you, but man, it drives you crazy in the fourth quarter. That 3rd and 2, like, it drives you crazy, Scoop.
Look, I'm sitting, and I've said this before, I'm sitting in my living room with my 3 women, and they are, one of them's 9, losing their shit over the fact that we refuse to run anywhere outside the A gap. And it's mind-numbing at times. It really is. Like, there's no way you can't tell me that you don't have a more diverse running game than in the A gaps. You have to be able to run off tackle to some extent. I would think. Maybe I'm wrong. I've never seen the playbook. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we don't. maybe we simply don't. I don't know. It's frustrating. There's no doubt it's frustrating, and there's no doubt that it feels as though Miami tends to go into a shell when we get in positions like that, and you just lean on the guys in front of you. It's frustrating for us. We said, look, I don't need you throwing it downfield. A little bit of diversity and creativity in the running game would be really, even if it doesn't work, like it's not working in the A gap. So maybe we just try something else that doesn't work. At least we see that there's something else on the playbook. I don't know. It's it's coming.
It's
so does
game
everybody
one.
else, which is the problem.
If the smoke alarm's going off, this is what the smoke alarm's going to be sounding. All right. And this goes back to last year too. Carson Beck, I just need to understand more of the dynamic. I need more bodies of work with him under center because there's an avenue there. I mean, if these are RPOs and he literally texts it, or they just play action out into the flat, because if you notice that, right, they bring that arc blocker across, and like Elijah Lofton missed one of those blocks early.
Oh yeah,
but if he can, if he continues to go, that's an easy play action pass. That's like an extension of your run game, particularly. I didn't see that at all last night, but we saw Cam Ward do that. Now, you need to give Carson Beck that same freedom because I think they threw up a stat on screen. We couldn't hear the audio, but it was like Miami runs 70% inside of their run plays, which is like the highest in the country, right? It's in between the guards. It's just what they do. But at the same time, you can't be that stubborn. I'm just telling you, you can't be that stubborn. Was it effective? Yes, but you were up by 2, right? 2 scores. It got close, and you got stubborn. We understand that's your calling card. We understand that's why you were here. We applaud the offense and defensive line. We love it. But at the same time, it's just one of those things. It's like eventually a team's going to figure out, if I stand right here, Mike Tyson's going to knock me out. So guess what? I'm not going to stand there and Buster Douglas your ass. You got to get a little bit more creative at times, just a little bit. We're not asking for much. You're coming off I was the number 1 offense last year. You're not going to be the number 1 offense this year. We know that. We're okay with it. We said that. Just be somewhere in the top 20, if you're top 10 in both directions, this team's playing for the playoffs and going far, right? We don't expect it, but please, you almost blew that game. You almost did. And it's exactly what we just told you. We've watched plenty of football, especially in this era. You're so stubborn. You really are. All right. Hey, we're just talking about the not so good things right now.
Okay, and for me, that's the biggest glaring issue, right? And you're right. Pull it. And the jet sweep to Malachi, who's right. It's there. Like, it's there. It's one of those things where, is it, and as you said, we haven't seen it, we don't know. Is that not an option to be given, right? Is it a direct call that has to be called? But at some point, you would think that looking at their defensive, how they lined up, right? The first one, if they'd have given it to him, may have been housed. Everyone crashed inside. The safety was too far over to the left side of the field. I think it was on the boundary side. He's probably still running. Never even considered it again, from what I saw. So it's one of those things where, like, simple stuff like that, or you pull it and you've got, as you said, Loft in the flat because he whiffed anyway. Just have him run past him, right?
Easy. They
so
never took
stuff,
that last night.
It's never even considered based on how we're looking at it. It's just a gap. Just hand it to him.
And they're super effective. And it's almost like they handcuff themselves because they're so good at doing it, though.
Correct.
We understand that. And it puts you in a
funny,
really...
So you guys didn't listen to the broadcast. So they're literally telling you they've got the best right side in the country. They're going to run it right there. Every time. There it goes. Like, it's one of those things where, like, everybody knows. And then Notre Dame stacks that side. They bring the defensive end and they shift him over. They bring the safety over the top. Like, now you're outnumbered. in a place that everybody knows you're going. And that's, I think I tweeted that. Like I said, you have to assume they probably know that. And if
The
they don't suck
challenge,
at coaching, which they don't, very good
the
coaching
very
staff at
good
Notre
coach.
Dame, they're probably going to shut it down. And they did. So, that's, man, it's just the creativity. And in those spots, that kind of drives me nuts.
Yeah.
The challenge for me and that coaching staff, Shannon Dawson, you ran a mesh return yesterday, and it was brilliant play. And for those that don't know, like Shannon Dawson loves mesh concepts where they just do crossers. Well, they actually faked it and went back out, and it was wide open because you broke tendency. Miami, you need to start having some tendency busters on that, like IZ and all those inside runs, because if you don't, I'm just telling you, don't lose a game because you get too stubborn.
Oh,
That's
you
it.
can see it happening.
Mhm.
You can see it happening 100%.
Yeah, it almost happened last night. Like
I
you,
mean,
you relied on a kid to make it, just inside 50.
Who
right.
was unproven?
Who,
Yes.
like, I mean, great. You saw him kick. You've seen him kick since the summer. I don't know if he
Mhm.
was here in the spring. You've
Great
seen him
call.
kick for the last 6 months, right?
Mhm.
Had a great fall camp. Awesome. But he's never been in that situation. They said his last game-winning kick or the last kick he
It
made
was
was
like
against
2 years ago.
like Weber State or some
Yeah.
shit. Like little different circumstances. Wagner. It was Wagner. It was a W, right? Wagner. I don't even know what state they're in. Like
It's
a little different
basketball
circumstances.
school.
So let's just run it up Inez Cooper's ass to get an extra yard so we can have. I mean, well done. Thank you, Mr. Davis. But I mean, I'd have preferred something from 35 or like,
Yeah, that's what we were saying. Yeah.
And we
or
were
if
talking
everyone is
about
in the
it.
box because they know you're doing it, as Rose said, I don't know, slip somebody out there.
If they literally pulled it and
There's
just hit it
nobody
out to the
there.
flat, there was nobody.
I
They
know.
they weren't respecting Carson Beck's running ability to pull it, right? And all he had to do was just pull it, roll out, and then he had the ability to run and throw it to Elijah Lofton. It's just
All right.
you got to get some counters on it. It is what it is.
Let's talk about the other thing. And obviously, I'm not going to put this on Heatherman because no one knew anything about CJ Carr. But we're back to an issue that we've been familiar with for the last 25 years watching this team. A certain player that we have been incredibly susceptible to over the number of years.
Quarterback.
And that is a mobile quarterback.
I don't think they knew.
And especially after you see what Castellanos did at FSU. It's like, oh, Jesus. But yeah, like that kid, dude, he outrushed Love. He rushed for 42 yards last night.
I don't think they knew.
In those draws up the
I really
middle,
don't.
bro. Holy shit. Like
I don't
8
think they
yards
knew
at a
that he
clip.
had any sort of wheels.
Yeah, I hope
it
not.
was simple
I don't know.
mathematics.
I mean,
I hope not.
You have to assume that, right?
Yeah.
Because he was clearly the most effective runner on the team.
At first glance, what I noticed is okay, University of Miami, when they were in like two safeties, okay, they have two safeties back, right? So you're lighter up front. When you have one safety, obviously, it's just simple mathematics. I felt like when we were in two safeties, they could just leverage us more on the side of the offensive line because you get that extra run element from the quarterback. I think you're going to see that from teams from here throughout. Now, I think Heatherman's going to do a good job when he realizes this is more of a mobile threat quarterback. But that's one of those things immediately. That was a tweet I put. I was like, I haven't seen a team defend a quarterback draw this bad since Randy Shannon, and you need to clean it up. Right? Because that's what we do. That's what we do as Orange Bowl boys. We're not going to sit there like and just have one huge circle jerk. Okay. We're going to tell you, we're happy. We're 1,000% happy. But at the same time, like we've seen this a long time. We know what the end of the year historically and habitually looks like. Clean it up. Right. But the good news is, it's your week one iteration. Should be the weakest you're going to be, right? WEAK coming off the WEEK. This is the weakest you're going to be, right? Just clean up some things.
Big picture. And look, Mario and everyone on that team would tell you the same, that they've got a lot of work to do, right?
Mhm.
And Rose right. It's the first game of the year, man. You always have a lot of work to do. Here's the reality. The reality is this team put up 27 points against arguably a top 5 defense in the country. The first game of the year, where the offense typically is not firing on all cylinders. And maybe they weren't last night. We saw it. What?
Looking around the other games this weekend, a lot of offenses sputtering.
Exactly.
Just, yeah.
I mean, at Ohio State and Texas, 14-7, for God's sake. It was the worst game of the week by a mile. So it's one of those things where you have to be so happy about some aspects of this and the fact that Ro told you earlier, it's the best secondary in the country. I think Toast had mentioned it all week. It's the best secondary in the country. It is. It's the best secondary we'll face all year. So it's exciting. It's exciting to see that they were able to having defensive touchdowns. The kicking, the return game was nice. I mean, you get Malachi just back there doing his thing, like he's playing Pee Wee football, just catching punts that are coming down from like 10 feet in the air. I mean, that's how it looked for him, right? Or looked to me for him. And then you got to see Keelan Marion, who is an All-American kick returner, got to bring one out for 32, right? So all of that looked nice and comfortable, and penalties were
non-existent in the first half.
Non-existent.
Started getting some in the second half.
And
dude, that personal foul, I don't even know what the fuck.
I'm not really sure how that works.
I don't even know what that was.
I don't know how that works. I mean, obviously,
our helmet gets removed, but somehow we get penalized for it.
Clearly, I don't know the rule on that.
Yeah.
But because the next play, Jeremiah Love's helmet came off.
Exactly. He didn't get it. Yes.
So, look, I mean, were there some stuff that I think, I don't like to blame anything on the refs. Did I think it was a little egregious? Sure. But I also appreciate the fact that they did throw the intentional grounding penalties. That there were some things that they called against them. We got one phantom holding call on Inez Cooper, which I don't think at all was the case. But aside from that, it looked pretty clean. No false starts, really no procedural penalties. Everyone was lined up where they should have been, especially with two freshman receivers out there.
Scoop.
Most of the game.
We made the mention. You never, with 3 seconds before the snap, you never saw defensive players like, what am I supposed to be doing?
They were communicating.
They were
legitimately communicating.
They were looking at who they were going to be covering. There was no, where am I supposed to be? It was cool.
Their communication, especially on motions, was a night and day difference. And day difference. Yeah. Just there, I don't think they're going to have the confusion. I know they're not going to have the confusion. They knew that they had to clean that up. That was the biggest smoke alarm last year, and they a year too late because it cost you a playoff last year. But I think moving forward, you're not going to see as a confused defense.
Check this out. Aaron Torres, I guess he's a Fox guy, tweeted this out. Miami beats Notre Dame, and I got to say, I know Twitter loves to criticize Mario Cristobal, but he took over the same year as Lincoln Riley, Brian Kelly, Billy Napier, and Brent Venables. Hey, has Miami in as good shape as they've been in 20 years? Show the man some respect. It's not wrong. And look at those other four guys. Haven't exactly lit the world on fire. Brian Kelly's been the most successful of them. But, I mean, Brent just took $1 million pay cut.
Lincoln Riley's offense was cool 5 years ago. But apparently if you have a last name of Riley, your offense sucks these days.
And Billy might be fired by the end of the year.
I don't think I've ever said that Mario deserves to be on the hot seat. Those other guys have definitely got some hot seat chatter, even when he had that bonehead play against Georgia Tech. But I was like, no, the guy, I believe in him because I know how he's trying to build it. As much as we smoke alarm you and say, dude, stop being so stubborn and running inside. When it comes down to it and it matters, you're going to have to do that. You're going to have a running game that goes into all weathers, especially into the playoffs, because what did a lot of those teams realize last year? And this is what I realized watching the playoffs in this extended format, you're going to go into some hostile places, possibly on the road to go win, especially when it's cold, right? You want to go to Columbus, Ohio in December when it's cold and not have a good running game? I know how that works. Just ask the Miami Dolphins. Okay, it just doesn't. They can't do it. Mario Cristobal has an all-weather style mentality, and it's great. Just when we need, it's such a delicate dance. I get it, but I believe in Mario Cristobal. I still do. Even if we lost last night, I told Scoop on the telecast or on our watch along yesterday. I was like, look, even if we lost, the one thing my takeaway, because the game was already cemented as what my thoughts and philosophies were going to be, it was just that we belonged. This was a team that played for a national championship. We belonged. We didn't get outclassed. If we lost, we lost, but we didn't get outclassed. We were there. We were punching. This was a heavyweight fight, right? This 100%. Was a heavyweight fight. Thrilla in Manila. This was haymakers. This was great offense, defensive line. That was an NFL-style game, and we belong there. We belong there. Like, we didn't look outclassed. We didn't look outmatched. We had talent. They had talent. It was a fun game. So I know Mario has it built the way it needs to be built now. I know that. I know that.
100%, Row. 100%. We absolutely belong. We look the part. Our guys are just as big. Like we look like we belong on the field with a Notre Dame or a Georgia, or I wouldn't even say an Alabama because they're a shell of what they used to be. But yeah, no, it's looking. I'm encouraged, man. We just stop with the fucking 3rd and 2 up the A gap.
And on the backs of the Mario Cristobal thing, we started talking about this too, Scoop. Those Notre Dame players, they got a little bit desperate towards the back end when the flag started. They tried to goat Miami right into some poaching. It was some bullshit, right? And it was one of those things where Mario Cristobal, it was like he said it over and over, just don't take the bait, don't take the bait. And we have a team, at least last night, where I didn't feel like there was this emotional recklessness. Right? There was this juvenile delinquency where they were just going to go ahead and react to every little thing, especially when teams try to do it on purpose.
Yep.
Right? There's not this player, well, he did this, right? They were like, no. Go ahead. Do your shit. We're going to beat you when it matters because we know what you're trying to do. We know what your fan bases think of us. They were clear and loud as day, right? We're not just thugs, we're ignorant thugs. But guess what? Under Mario Cristobal, we're disciplined thugs. Okay? We don't mind being called thugs, but they were a disciplined team last night, mentally, physically, emotionally, and that's what it's going to take to go ahead and get us into the playoffs and beyond.
And kudos to you, the listeners, the fan base. Well done. That place was rocking. It was an environment that, we hope to have more of, right? I mean, we're looking for these big games. We want to be able to sell it out. And that was great. That was great. Through the rain, through everything, you guys kicked some ass, man. That place was loud.
Nice, man. Well, listen, we're 1-0. We knew this first month was going to be a gauntlet to have a chance to get through this and get into conference play undefeated. We got a couple of big games coming up with South Florida, who looked good, and then Florida. Obviously, we'll have a little bit of a cakewalk against Bethune, you'd like to think. But yeah, things are off to a good start, man. The 2025 season is off and rolling, and we're 1-0.
I gotta be honest with you. I can't wait to talk to the Bethune fans on Twitter.
Oh,
can we engage in some of them?
They're gonna get chesty. 100%.
Oh, we got a gauntlet coming up here early because USF fans, they get mouthy too. And
they looked good. They looked good.
They looked good, but even when we played them last year, they were mouthy.
Yeah.
So, and then we know what Florida's going to be.
That's
but,
fine.
Like you said, we just dealt with Notre Dame fans week 1. So
I just can't wait for that. Like, they're still on the timeline. Like, I appreciate if the timeline just, like, refreshes. Is there a way to refresh this and like, go 2 days ahead of time?
They're on the Texas A&M. They're
prominent on the
timeline. I invited the ones, the guy, the Notre Dame recruiting thing, whoever that was, who kept posting videos of us, and then said, I can't wait to see their show after the game. Do they do a show after the game? I'd love. I said, we'd love to have you on.
Yeah, no, we actually called the local cops to do a welfare check because they haven't been seen from in the last 36 or 24 hours.
Yeah, love to have you on.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, Notre Dame.
You can come on and do the Bethune Cooking pregame show if you want to. You have an open invite anytime you'd like to come on the show.
He probably knows more about the opposition than we do, so he could educate us on that. He probably knows all about the Bethune players because he was telling that we don't. So
I don't know any Bethune Cooking players.
I don't know Bethune players either.
I don't know a single person.
Should we?
They have a band. They have a band.
I know one USF player. I know Byron Brown.
Okay,
I don't know anyone else on the team. Should we?
I only know Lagway on Florida.
That's true. Vernell Brown.
Okay.
That was probably a better catch than CJ, to be honest with you. That catch was
Lori, so
stupid.
let me before we get out of here, let me just add just quickly because we'll probably talk about this more during the episode. But someone put out a tweet: Alabama football is quickly on its way to becoming Indiana basketball. And I thought that was great.
Nothing good lasts forever.
No.
You had a great run, and everybody that got to enjoy that has adult memories, enjoy it. I mean, that was one of the greatest. It was the greatest.
It's like us in the NFL 80s.
Yeah, run of your time. And coming from a Miami Hurricane fan, nothing great lasts forever. You had to go through your Gene Stallings years and Shula years. Gene Stallings actually won since
won a title,
won a title against
Mike
the Miami Hurricanes. Yeah,
Mike Price.
right? Francione, Shula.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
and listen, I think DeBoer was the
Mike
pick.
Price coached at Alabama.
Mike Price, bro.
Wow.
Like, and I think DeBoer was the pick. I mean, that guy was like, his overall record was like 199 to like 3.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's won a lot of games.
everywhere.
I think from what I'm reading is that he's so vastly different from Saban. Like his structure, his discipline, he's like he just doesn't, that I've seen something that, they can't get on the buses on time. They're ordering DoorDash, super late. Like it's just a bit of chaos when Saban ran it like, a Fortune 500 company, right? Where it's
Micromanager
to the T.
Yeah.
He ran it like West Point.
Yeah, very, very different in Tuscaloosa these days. We have friends where like a number of friends who have kids at Bama, which is crazy. But I was like, man, I feel bad for these kids. Like they go to Alabama to enjoy and be a part of the only good thing in Tuscaloosa. And now that sucks. And now you're stuck in Tuscaloosa. You can't even look forward to Saturdays. What a mess.
And it's got to be a
to hear from this week.
Who?
Strike friggin' wall!
That guy's going to call, and he's going to go
100%.
nuts. We'll have audio from him probably.
I mean, listen,
Oh, my
Feinbaum went
God.
0 for 3 for the weekend. He picked Notre Dame.
Oh, he
picked
did.
Bama.
Guaranteed to win. Where is he?
Oh, bro, he had a rough one.
And Lee Corso went out undefeated.
Right? Yes.
Lee Corso got every one of his picks right. Way
Yeah.
to go out on a high note, Goat.
He picked
did,
FSU,
he did.
too.
Yes,
Picked
he did.
FSU, picked
He's the
us.
only
He's
one.
like, yeah.
Good shit.
He was
All
like
right, very
6-0.
good. Anything else, boys, before we get out of here?
You want
Nah,
your
man, I'm
results real
just
quick?
I'm
yes,
excited
yeah.
to break down.
Results. How do we do?
All right, so everybody picked Georgia Tech. Everybody won that game.
Yay.
Everybody picked Texas.
No bueno.
Everybody lost that game.
Okay.
Everybody picked Tennessee minus 13.5. They
There
boat
we go.
raced Syracuse to Roman's pleasure. Everybody
you.
picked Alabama.
Oh.
Everybody
Oh,
lost.
yeah, well, of course we did.
Everybody picked Clemson minus 4.
Yeah.
Why'd we do
Clemson
this?
lost.
Because,
Toast picked Virginia Tech.
I picked the
Roman
Tigers. Wait,
Scoop
I picked the Tigers. I picked the Tigers.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
yeah, sure.
Hedge that bet. Hedge it. Toast picked Virginia Tech. Scoop and Roman picked South Carolina. South Carolina was your winner there.
Yeah.
And then everybody got the U pick. So last week, Toast 3-4 and Scoop and Roman 4-3.
Okay.
Okay.
On the
All right,
season,
then.
Toast 3-5, Scoop's 5-3, Rose 4-4.
Okay.
We are like consistent.
In an early hole, I love it.
Yeah.
Right where I want to be.
Already.
Hey, about that. What's it called? What's the bet we do?
Oh, our underdog won.
Underdog.
Our underdog won. I
last
mean,
night.
interception that I called before it happened was
Yeah.
phenomenal. That was good. Yeah, so we're let's see if they updated what's our balance there on that. Probably over $600 now, I believe.
That was a big hit.
Just
too,
so you
wasn't
guys also know, we also did a little side bet. We were at the Canes thing for the FSU game. It didn't work out for us.
Oh, no.
But that was a little small bet. That was so. Yeah. So there we go. We're at 669.
There we go.
it? Darn.
Yeah.
Oh,
Winner,
There we
winner.
go, baby. Follow us. Do our underdog bets. There you go. Promo code Orange will get you a nice little something.
Something in the kitty. I don't know.
Yeah, something.
extra
I don't
50
have the
bucks,
copy
I
in front of me. It's like $50
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah. So
Yeah.
go ahead and do that. But yeah, we'll be back this week. We get ready for Bethune. Man, got to do watch a lot of tape for that, Ro. A lot of tape, a lot of student of the game for the Bethune, please.
When is that game?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do the student of the game preview for Bethune Cookman, but we'll try to do something else
You
midweek.
should do an
as
SOTG for their band.
well. Exactly.
That's
Well,
good.
they're not-
See
yeah,
the
right.
formation.
Look at the trumpet
It's
player out
good
of
in
formation
lockstep.
here. He's
So this will be Saturday night at 7 p.m. It's
Oh,
There'll
we
be
got a
10
night
clips
game,
on their
7
band.
o'clock.
9 of
7
which are
o'clock.
on their dancers. It's like, whoa.
Mhm. Yeah,
Holy
South
cow.
Florida has been announced for 4:30.
All
So
right.
I guess that's what I'm thinking. That must be one of the CW games if it's going at 4:30. That's going to be
Okay.
yeah. So I'm guessing that'll be that. And then Florida they haven't announced, but that could be a prime time game.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go, boys and
Well,
girls.
it gets easy, and then it gets harder, and then it gets harder. So
Yes,
it's
yeah, no, this schedule is not going to. Yeah, Florida State, Louisville, like yeah, no, this is front loaded right now. We'll see you guys later on this week. Have a phenomenal holiday, as always. Go Canes.
Bange.